What's up, guys? I'm gonna give it a few minutes and see if anybody jumps on. I know it's kind of midday. I'm taking a late lunch. Um, it has been one of those weeks for me. So yeah, and that's the thing. So I wanted to literally take about a 15-minute, 20-minute lunch break because that's all I've gotten this week at work. Luckily, I have tomorrow off, free game for the barbecue on Saturday. So I wanted to basically hop on and I wanted to give a bunch of shout outs. I wanted to give a bunch of thank yous because you guys deserve it. So, first and foremost, to every single person out there who has watched our lives, who comments, who stays engaged, who shares our posts, all of you guys are amazing, and we can't thank you enough. Hey Pat, what's up? This guy right here is one of our big supporters. So shout out Pat for being that just awesome supporter. So real quick, so wanted to throw that out there. Say thank you to all of you guys who watch us every week, especially with this crazy like 2 weeks that we've had. We've had live episodes on Mondays, we had them on Wednesdays, we had them on Fridays, we had them on Saturdays, and you guys all tuned in and showed support, especially for the local music scene, which is really huge and making a huge comeback. So we wanted to basically, I want to jump on here. Like I said, I got like maybe 15 minutes for lunch today with my work schedule, but I had to jump on here, tell you guys thank you so much from myself, from Jeremy, from Rob. We truly, truly appreciate every single one of you who watches our lives, who comments, who interacts, who shares our posts. You guys are amazing, and I wanted to say thank you. I also wanted to say thank you to all the bands who have come onto the podcast to deal with all of our crazy shenanigans. Tammy, we got Tammy. She says, "Hell yeah, get it, girl." Another one of our huge supporters right there. So big, huge shout out to Tammy. Thank you so much for everything you do. You have no idea how amazing you are. And by the way, she makes these badass cocoa bombs, and she gives them to all the bands that come into um, the podcast. So if you want cocoa bombs, like hit her up because I don't have any in here. Do I have any here? I don't have any in here. They're all in my kitchen because I plan on drinking all of them. But um, basically, huge shout out, Pat. He's a huge, huge supporter. Tammy, huge supporter, and to everybody who jumps on and who watches our lives and deals with all of our crazy shenanigans that we have going on. Jeremy, Rob, and I really, really appreciate every single one of you, and for all of you who share our stuff. But we wanted to give a shout out to all the bands. So. First and foremost, your captain speaking. They were actually the first band who came into the finished studio. Jeremy has actually busted his ass on that studio and got everything exactly the way that he wanted it. It's perfect. We got the custom table, we got the sound panels or the soundproof panels, we got he's busted his ass with the tech and making sure he's got everything for all the buttons and all the sound effects and making sure everything is perfect and all the cameras. So we really could not do this without Jeremy. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to Jeremy for all of that. Huge thank you to Rob. Me and him go way back, and we have talked about doing this and talked about doing this, and it's been months in the making, and we finally did it, and it is now what it is now. So it is now Off the Record podcast. So huge shout out to Jeremy, huge shout out to Rob. Couldn't do this without you guys. I love y'all. And your captain speaking for being the first band in that finished studio who came in. It was an absolute blast having them in the studio, and we definitely need to have you guys back. Another shout out to Dustin Blake of This Dying Breed, my little bro. I love you. Tell the fam I love him. He came in and it was just, if you know Dustin, you understand. He was just Dustin. And we couldn't thank him enough for coming in and taking the time out of his day to show up and talk about all kinds of stuff that he went through, what the band is doing, and just throwing in the laughs and the camaraderie and sharing in that with us. And it was an awesome experience. Also, Trial by Stone, they were the next band that came into the studio, and those were the most down to earth, most humble dudes that you will ever meet. And they're amazing guys, and we can't thank you guys enough for coming onto the podcast and being a part of the family and being part of Off the Record family. And we really thank you guys for coming in. We had Romexis coming into the studio, and I unfortunately could not could not be there, and it kills me inside that I couldn't be there for that episode. I was sick and had laryngitis before I knew I had laryngitis, and I couldn't make it. So I was in the comments, and it was really great to see you guys and having you guys in the studio. I hope you guys had fun, and Jeremy and Rob were amazing hosts, I'm assuming, as always. Also wanted to thank Ember Fading. Huge shout out to those guys, Ember Fading. They have been probably part of the comment section on every single one of our lives. Melissa, especially to Melissa, she has been in the comment section and just hyping us up, and they have been sharing our stuff, and we really, really appreciate you guys, Ember Fading, for coming into the studio, for letting us interview you guys, and for being a part of the Off the Record family. We also had huge shout out. Now this one I'm gonna probably spend just a tiny bit of time on. Tammy said, "Great job, Jeremy." Josh said, "Shouldn't you be working?" I am actually taking a 15-minute lunch break as we speak right this second. So I have an excuse. 15-minute lunch break because I did not have a lunch yesterday or the day before or today. So there's my excuse. But we also wanted to thank, oh, Tammy. No, you're the best. I love you, girl. We had Chris and Alicia from the Warrior on the River and the Tallahassee Live Music Community Charity Group. I hope I said that right. Tallahassee Live Music Community Charity Group coming to the podcast, and they were awesome. We got to hear how the Warrior started. We got to hear how the Tallahassee Live Music Community Charity Group got started, and what they do. And what they do is amazing for kids. They teach children, for like underprivileged children, how to play instruments and keeping that music alive for that next generation. Because right now our music scene is growing and it's getting better, but that next generation needs to be inspired to keep it going for the future, kind of like the bands now passing the torch. So we really want to thank them for really keeping everything kind of in the spotlight and keeping it going and having a badass venue for us to be able to go and enjoy these live music from all these amazing bands. We also have we had Dick Burke and David Rowe from Cue the Muses and Fighting Giants come into the studio on Saturday. It was only supposed to be Dick who actually came in. Um, and yeah, it ended up being like a mini party, was kind of how that turned out. So we had Dick Burke and David Rowe from Cue the Muses and Fighting Giants, and he brought some friends. He brought Kurt Rogers from Defy the Tyrant, and he brought Jason Cupp from Core, who actually came into the studio. And then, of course, we had Josh from Tragic, who showed up halfway through to kind of join in on the camaraderie as well. So we ended up having, let's see, Cue the Muses and Fighting Giants, Defy the Tyrant, Core, and Tragic. So we had 5 bands in the studio with the singers and the guitarists, and it was amazing. So that was a 3 hour long episode. It was an off the record history making episode. So if you guys watched our episode, you know that I think the longest has been maybe an hour 45 minutes. And these guys just had so much to talk about, and it was an amazing experience hearing all of their different stories and just their just camaraderie it was amazing. So thank you to Dick, to David, to Kurt, to Jason, and to Josh for coming into the studio, because that was a pretty fun night, and we really appreciate you guys coming in. On Monday night, we had Carrie and Curse in the studio, local metal band, who came in and started, just kind of telling us about how Carrie and Curse got started and what their inspirations were. And it was really cool to see from their perspective as well. So big, huge thank you to Carrie and Curse. Last night we had the children, as Melissa so affectionately likes to call them. We had False Chase in the studio, which is probably one of the younger bands out of Tallahassee, and they were awesome. They were funny. They're amazing, and we really thank you guys so much for coming to the studio. We had a blast with you guys. Now, on Friday, we have one of the coolest bands that Tallahassee has to offer. We have Tragic coming into the studio on Friday. We haven't interviewed them yet. We have no idea what we're going to ask them. We're probably going to wing it, and we can't wait to have Tragic in studio. kind of see what they have coming up on their schedule, what type of shows they're going to be playing, anything that they have that's going on. We're going to find out and try to give you guys a little exclusives. And then, of course, on Saturday is the barbecue, which is why we've been kind of booking, why we have been booking the bands the way that we have. So, real quick, we have Tammy. She says, "Rob, you rock." Josh said, "Hey, Pat," and we have Josh said, or Joe, Joey saying, "Boo." Josh says, "Tragic. Those guys are lame as fuck." And I mean, yeah. And then Joey agreed. So he said, "Shut up, Joey." So we had been booking bands. We've been doubling up on the weeks, and you guys have kind of stuck right there with us and been like, "Oh, Off the Records Live, let me tune in." So leading up to Saturday is the barbecue. It is the 11th annual barbecue that Jason Sauer has put on, and again, another huge shout out because the music community would not be what it is today without Jason Sauer and all of his push and his promotions and everything that he does. This guy wears so many different hats, and it just wouldn't at all be possible without Jason. So, want to give a shout out to Sauer. He has actually been commenting. He's been in our chats before, commenting on all of our live videos. We've even kind of positioned little Bud Light cans on the table for him there. So really, really huge supporter of anything local music related. So huge shout out to Shower for that. And then the barbecue coming up Saturday. Doors are going to be open at 3. It is going to be 14 bands playing on 2 stages at Warrior on the River, which is located here in Tallahassee. It used to be the old riverfront. If you don't know where it is, be sure to Google it. But it is a free show. So you can get your tickets online for free and you can come and see 14 amazing bands take the stage. There's going to be free food. There's a free Kill the Keg. So free beer till the keg is gone. And yeah, it's going to be one hell of a night with the return of Core. I think they said it's been 12 years since they've all been on stage together. So Core's coming back. We've got bands like Tragic. We've got bands like This Dying Breed. We got Trial by Stone. We have Remexis. We have Ember Fading. We have Your Captain Speaking playing. We got Fighting Giants, and we have Defy the Tyrant playing, and Carrion Curse, and False Chase, and Tragic. It's just, there's so many bands, and you definitely want to make sure that you're there for it. So be sure that you're there. 3 p.m. Doors are open. Free food, free beer, free show. So there is no excuse for you to not go. You definitely, this is going to be one of the biggest parties that you don't want to miss. So again, past 2 weeks, we really have been amping up on all of the bands that are coming in, and we're doing it twice a week. I'm sure my family's like, God, Mom, like you're always gone. But it's been a blast. So starting next week, we're going to be back on to our regularly scheduled program of Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully we can get some more bands coming in to the studio just to, kind of keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the local community. And hopefully we're going to be expanding soon to not only just local, but statewide. We've had a couple bands from all over Florida hit us up. We even had one band out of Dallas, Texas, who would like to be featured on the episode. So you never know. We might end up going, national with this, which would be amazing. To hear all different types of bands from all over the country would be, it would be mind blowing. So we hope you guys stick around. We will see you again tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have Tragic live on the podcast. And then Saturday, we hope to see you all at the barbecue. And be sure to come over and say hey, get some pictures with us. We always want pictures of everything. So come and say hey to us, and be sure to show up and get some free food, some free beer, see all the bands that are playing for free. So yeah, do that. Tammy says, it's been so awesome to be a part of. You all have been amazing and welcoming. That's because we love you. Thank you, and we love you. Josh says Jeremy Taylor needs bunk beds there. So yeah, we've all been spending a lot of time at the studio lately. So we want to thank you guys so much for sticking with us and hanging out. And you guys are the real MVPs for putting up with all of our bullshit. So we appreciate you guys. And one last time, We appreciate you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. Shout out again to all the bands that have come onto the podcast. And we really hope to get some more bands coming in soon. And after tomorrow night, we will see you again on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to tune in tomorrow night. See Tragic, 7:30. Bye, guys.